Welcome to the commentary booth where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and each week I'm joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by an impact fee technician who lists their favourite TV show as Golden Girls and favourite movie as A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, I thought you were going to change it on me. I was going to be like, don't you fucking dare.
No, I was trying to remember it because I'm
I'm
not looking at my notes this time, so I was like, oh, crap.
Thought you were pulling to me.
So yeah, this week though, we're doing something a little bit different. We're returning to our fantasy movie drafting 2025. Corrina and I will also be back to drop in our score recap for 2024. We'll come back and we'll record that in about a week or two, and we'll drop that in right now.
Jamie can record that. Jamie can record that by himself. Corrina doesn't need to be present for that. It was a scary times.
Alrighty, we are jumping in now to give you the score update to close out the 2024 fantasy movie draft from the commentary booth. So we will kick things off with an update on our scores from the first half of the year, and then we'll check out the scores from the second half of the year and give our totals at the end. So we have, here we go.
We really don't have to do that.
The scores from the first half of 2024. My choices were American Fiction, which got me 24 points. The Bike Riders got me 11 points. Nosferatu still has yet to come out, got me 0 points. Furiosa got me 24 points. The Zone of Interest, 48 points. Thank God for that one, because my next film, Argyle, got me minus 30. And then my supplementaries were Bob Marley One Love, which got minus 17, and Challengers, which got 36 points, giving me a total score for the first half of the year of 113 points. Corrina's choices, do you want to run through those or do you want me to?
You can run through them because I don't recognize this year as anything other than trash.
So Corrina's first pick was The Iron Claw, got her 13 points.
It's the best thing that I
Night Swim got her minus 17. Dune Part 2 got her 20 points. The Mean Girls remake got her minus 1 point. The Watchers minus 15 points. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, 5 points. And then her two supplementals, Godzilla Cross Kong and New Empire, minus 12. And Lisa Frankenstein, minus 12. No need to flip me off.
I didn't. I was just scratching my nose.
So for the first 6 months of the year, Corrina's total score was 5.
Yeah, and
only a solid 108 points behind.
I don't think you realize that the whole goal of this was to have the lowest point possible. He wanted to be as close as possible to 0.
It ain't golf. It ain't golf.
No, yeah, you want to be as close to 0 as you can get, and that's what I was. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then we moved into the second half of the year,
which we really don't have to go to at all. We really don't go here at all.
So my first choice, Long Legs, got me 17 points. Maxine got me 4 points. Deadpool and Wolverine then went and lost me to those 4 points. Gladiator 2 got me 6 points. In Vitro, another movie that is yet to come out, 0 points. Trap got me minus 7. I still don't like that score because I thought that movie was quite good. Blink Twice as a supplemental got 6 points. Speak No Evil got 3 points. So Blink Twice substituted in for In Vitro to give me a total score of 22 for the second half of the year. Not quite as good the second half of the year. Second half of the year was a bit bleak.
Yeah.
Then we move into Corrina's second half of the year, which,
yeah,
hey, talk about bleak.
Yeah, we don't need to go. We don't have to do this.
Joker Folie à Deux, minus 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, she got off lightly.
It's not nearly as bad as.
Reagan, minus 56 points.
Yes, that was pretty fucking
That's
bad.
a stinker. Don't watch that one.
Yes, this is pretty fucking bad.
Then her top scoring movie for the second half of the year, Wicked Part 1, 13 points. Alien Romulus, 4 points. Pretty hard done by on that one, I'll give you that much.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then a movie that I was very shocked at when she picked it, and I now understand why.
Yeah.
Terminator
Cool.
Skynet Rising is a fan-made YouTube movie, so this did not get scored.
Thank
0
God.
points.
Thank God.
However, I will allow her to take a substitute on that.
Why? I don't need a substitute. I'll take the 0 points. You can fuck right off.
Then Moana 2, minus 3 points. Substitutes. Oh, she
We
found the
don't need
stinkers.
to. We don't need to discuss any of the substitutes.
Borderlands, minus 46.
Yeah.
They Listen, minus 44. For a total score of the year or the second half of the year of minus 101. But if we take out her substitute of They Listen, it's still a total score of minus 57.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll take the whatever. Fuck off. How about that?
So in conclusion, to wrap up the year,
I did.
combined scores, Jamie, 125.
Mm-hmm.
Corrina, this is based off the minus 101,
Mm-hmm.
scored minus 96.
It's fantastic.
But if we go off the minus 57, add 5 to that, she was a minus 52 for the year.
Yeah, whatever. It's okay. It's okay because 2025, at least the first quarter of 2025, will probably be a little bit better for me.
I would hope so, because I don't think you can do much worse.
No, you can. Oh, you can. Trust me.
Yeah, I think your first half of the year is going to be much stronger than your second half of... First half of 2025 is going to be much stronger than the second half of 2024, because...
Yeah.
Oh boy, was that not... That was not a pleasant watch.
Thank God.
It was pleasant for me watching the scores roll in. Probably not so much for you.
I feel like the only thing that I was really happy about was like when I looked at the score for Wicked, I just remember texting you and be like, I fucking got something finally. Fuck you.
got double figure positives.
Yeah. Like,
Not almost triple figure negatives.
I knew the fucking theater nerds would come through for me because we stand strong together.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll go back to our draft for 2025 and you can see what we've picked, but I'm confident in my picks. I'm confident Corrina is going to do much better next year, so we will catch you in June, July, and update on the first half of the year.
Yay.
So that was the scores. But right now, we're looking ahead to 2025. Going to draft the top choices of movies we think are going to get high critical ratings. Same deal as last year. A score above 60 gets you 1 point per point above 60. Anything above an 80, you'll get 2 bonus points. So you can get like 20 points, and then if it's say an 84, you would get 28 points scored. And then on the negative side, below 60 and you lose a point. Below 40, you lose 2 points. So Corrina had a few of those in 2024.
I would like to not use Metacritic anymore. I would like to just use Rotten Tomatoes because I have a better shot at being a little bit better on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, because Rotten
Also,
Tomatoes,
I think-
anybody can put scores in, and that totally skews it because you get people going in there just to review bomb stuff because they're like, I don't like
also
it.
think-
Go woke, go broke.
I also think that your bullshit of anything over 60, it should be like anything over 55 is considered a success, and anything below 55 is considered a fucking fail. That's how I feel like this should be. But I don't make the fucking rules. You are an asshole and like to watch me suffer and lose at everything. So whatever.
I say 60 because not a lot of movies get below 60. So
There are
like
fair
if
share of movies that get below 60. Let me just tell you, my scores from this past year have shown that there are a lot of movies that get below 60. So how about you go fuck yourself? Okay?
just don't pick shit movies.
I'm really spicy today, folks. I fucked up my wrist somehow doing adult things in my yard a couple of weeks ago, and it still hurts. So forgive my
Really?
spicy attitude. Huh?
You gotta be careful saying it like that.
Okay, I was doing landscaping in my fucking
That's better.
yard, lifting up cinder blocks and bags of rocks, and did something in my wrist, and then I've progressively just continued to do more things, like put Christmas lights up outside and whatever. So yeah, I've severely, I don't know what I did to my wrist, but it pops now and it doesn't feel so hot. So it's put me in a really great fucking mood.
Goofball. So yeah, just a reminder on like what we're picking here. So each person will pick 6 main movies and then 2 supplementals that if your movie doesn't release. So at the moment we're doing the first half of the year between January 1st and June 30th. If it doesn't release within that window, it's obviously scores a 0 because it's not going to get a rating. But at that point, one of your supplementals will come in instead. We generally pick the highest rating supplemental too, not just whatever.
Also, I'm not allowed to pick certain movies because certain movies have already come out in the US and I have to go by Australian release dates, not US release dates, which makes it 10 times harder for me because you are a shit.
Yeah, no, it's Australian release dates. We are an Australian podcast. Yeah, and if there's already a Metacritic score, that movie has been crossed off the eligibility list. You cannot pick a movie that has already been scored because that's cheating.
It's not cheating if it's just hasn't been released in your area. It's not my fault that like
it is cheating because you look at it and go, "Oh, I want to pick that one because it's got a super high score."
To be fair, I didn't know any of the Metacritic scores on some of my movies that I had on my list of things to look at until I started looking at them, and I was like, "Ooh!" And then I messaged you this morning, and I was like, "I have a conundrum."
I did the same thing. I was like, I know this one is like the sort of movie that a critic would really rate highly. Put it on my list, and then double checked all the scores. And was like, yep, they did rate it really highly. God damn it.
Yep. I would have been on top this year, this first half of this coming year, if things had gone my way. But whatever. I'll put it in the comment box, okay? Little comment cards.
So, in order to pick our draft list, we obviously need to pick who's going to get the top draft pick. So we are going to bring in this little guy.
The Wheel of Doom.
Random wheel spin generator. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Steady.
So just hit the damn thing.
God damn it. Every time.
I was gonna say, I'm fine with the wheel generator because every fucking year, every time we do a draft, I end up becoming on top all the time. So I'm cool with this. Like, I can't complain much.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Why? You know that the movies I pick are probably not on your list, so it's cool.
So, okay. Corrina got the first pick. Go ahead and pick your first movie.
I'm going to do A Complete Unknown, which is the Bob Dylan biopic with Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet? How do you fucking say his last name? That hasn't come out yet. I checked.
Yeah, what's it called?
Okay. It's called A Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown. That's right.
Yes.
When you just said, I'm going with A Complete Unknown, I was like, okay, what's the movie called?
That's what it's called. Yeah, it's the biopic about Bob Dylan, and I think Timothy Chalamet looks fantastic. And he has the mannerisms of him, so whatever, looks cool. I'll go with it because my first pick was not allowed. So
yeah, I feel like that could do quite well. Interesting. It's definitely not the sort of movie I want to see.
No, it's not a movie that's on my list at all.
Yeah, no interest in a Bob Dylan biopic, but Okay.
I'm not really a biopic artist kind of person, but whatever. They seem to do fairly okay for the most part. So yeah.
So my first choice, I'm doing it again. I think I've picked this movie every time, and
Oh my god.
the previous 2 times it's screwed me. But I'm gonna pick Nosferatu.
Ah, third time's a charm, maybe for you. We'll see.
I feel like this date is pretty solid this time. So it's in Australia due to release January 1st, which is why it is technically eligible, even though you're getting it on Christmas.
Yep.
And it's the film written and directed by Robert Eggers, who always gets pretty high scores on his movies, starring Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Ralph Ineson, Simon McBurney, and Willem Dafoe. Like, how can that cast? They can't deliver anything crappy. So, fingers crossed. My only hesitation with this one is it is a remake of a 1922 movie. So, I'm a little concerned that critics are going to go into this being extra critical of it, being like, oh, you're remaking a classic movie, you have to like really deliver. And based on the trailers, looks like they are. So fingers crossed for me.
It is really interesting looking. It's actually, I believe there was another remake that was made like, I don't know, way back when, like in the 50s or 60s or something. Like, or way back when, but this one looks promising. I got to see the trailer of all times when I was waiting in line at Halloween Horror Nights, like on the side of a fucking wall in the line. And I was like, oh, I haven't watched this yet because I didn't really want to see anything about it. But I'll give it credit. It does look pretty good. And I'm glad that it kind of looks like it's black and white, but it also kind of just looks like it's grayscale / like really deep tones. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's just really
excited about
dark, and then
that.
like
Yeah.
the blues and then the fire that pops makes it like really stand out. It's like really capturing that original spirit of the OG. Did you get sound when you watched that trailer, or did you get it
Yes.
in like
Mhm.
authentic silent movie experience?
Oh no, nope. I had the full sound. We heard Willem Dafoe saying Nosferatu in it and everything, and I was like, all right, well, that looks okay. The color schemes in it in the color story remind me very much of Sweeney Todd, which I know you haven't seen it, but you should watch it because it's a very similar effect where most things are black and grays and dark tones, and then like blood is very bright red and vibrant. So
Yeah, I'm
but
very very eager to see it. I'm seeing it next week. I cannot wait. As of recording, I'm seeing it next week. So hands up, haven't seen it, even though I am seeing it early. I have not seen it already. No cheating here.
All right. Okay. All right. So my second pick, yeah.
Yep.
So my second pick is going to be Last Breath.
Is that even on my list?
I was on the list of suggested titles, and I found it myself today. I looked at your suggested titles list afterwards. It is about a. Hold on, I have it here. It's supposed to come out May 8th. It is based on an actual documentary film that came out about a sea diver.
I know.
Got lost.
I watched that documentary on the weekend preparing for this because I wanted to pick this movie.
Yeah, well, I saw Woody Harrelson was in it, so I was like, oh, I want that one. Yeah, so I don't know anything about the original documentary, but it sounded good.
It's freaking
gets,
wild.
like, untethered and gets lost in 100 meters down in the North Sea or whatever. So
it
cool,
is
looks good.
Insane. The story that this movie is going to tell, I was like, no
fantastic.
way this guy survives. And spoiler,
okay,
he did somehow.
So now I kind of want to see the documentary. Like, I'm going to go look up and see where I can find the documentary because it sounds really cool now that I've like looked at the movie.
It was on Netflix for me, so yeah, check it out. Like, it was, and the way the documentary does it too is they do such a good job of like, they interview everyone except for him, and the way they're all talking, it's like, oh yeah, he's dead. He 100% died. There is no way this guy survived. And like some of the footage they show, it's like, yeah, that's a dead body under the ocean. Like, there's no way that guy's still alive.
Yeah.
Then they rescue him. They do 2 seconds of CPR, and he's like, oh, shit. It's like, how are you not brain dead? You had no oxygen for like 10 minutes. Like, he was under the water from the moment he became untethered to the moment they got him back into the submersible. was like 30 something minutes, and like they had like a little drone submersible under the water, like that had a camera on him,
Mm-hmm.
and he stopped moving after 15 minutes.
Oh shit.
And then was just sitting there for like another 20 minutes, and like, okay, we're pretty sure he's dead now. Somehow, totally fine.
Okay.
No brain damage,
Wow.
nothing. I was like, what the hell?
What the fuck?
So yeah, that
cool.
movie is
So
going to be pretty sick, I think.
I hope it does well. Yeah, that is my second pick though. So yeah, keen to see what that does. And haha, fuck you.
Yeah, that was mean.
Oh well.
My next choice. I'm trying to think, do I just go in order of movies coming out, since you've jumped now and really thrown me out?
I just kind of went all over. Sorry.
Nah, I'm going to pick one that I'm actually like super excited for. Like, it might not do that great, but the previous two entries in this series got a 73 and a 78 respectively. So I'm going to pick 28 Years Later.
That was on my list as like backups actually.
Yeah,
Like
so
that was
this
one of
is
my backup movies.
Danny Boyle's sequel to 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. So it's the third film in the series. I feel like they kind of missed a trick by not dropping in a 28 months later in there at some point in between 2007 and 2025. But hey,
Whatever.
also 28 weeks, 28 months, is much going to change? Like at least 28 years later, like yeah,
Significant changes.
Some shit might have gone down and totally changed. But with Danny Boyle involved, who did 28 Days Later, did Train Spotting, 127 Hours, Slumdog Millionaire, Yesterday, and Steve Jobs. Like that's pretty impressive resume. And then we've got co-wrote with Alex Garland from Civil War. He co-wrote 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later, Ex Machina, and Annihilation. So there's a really good pedigree with this movie. So I am fairly confident this is going to be pretty awesome, and it's going to have the nostalgia too. So I think that might like sneaky nostalgia bonus points on the critic rating, hopefully. 28 Years Later.
There we go. I'm gonna go with this next one, and I think it's probably end up gonna do shit, but whatever.
We tried this strategy last year. It didn't work.
I know. It's fine. Whatever. So I'm gonna go with F1. With Brad Pitt. I have a feeling. So is it okay? So here's my thing. When I was reading about it, the synopsis, it kind of reminded me of Gran Turismo, which was not obviously like a critically acclaimed film, but it sounded kind of similar. But the fact that it's an F1 series and it's not like a video game movie kind of thing, I feel is a little bit better. Also, it's fucking Brad Pitt, so like, why wouldn't I want to take a chance on Brad Pitt at this point? Because whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Brad
but
Pitt,
yeah, that's on my list.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
Directed by Joseph Kosinski. A lot of the like main team that was behind Top Gun Maverick. So like if you can capture the Top Gun vibes with F1, because they are quite similar, and I think there's going to be some awesome cinematography in this. It's backed by the FIA, who run Formula One. All of the Formula One teams and drivers are involved. So I think it's going to be very authentic and could be like a super cool action drama movie.
Yeah, that's my third pick. So
yeah, it's either going to be really good or really
shit,
really panned and being like, what the fuck was the point of this?
Yeah, but I'm hoping I'm hoping it's not a Gran Turismo for adults. Like that would be great if it wasn't.
Yeah, if I was you, I probably would have saved that for a supplemental pick. But yeah, could be.
It's whatever.
Could pop off. So my third pick, I'm going to go into Corrina's wheelhouse here and pick a psychological thriller written and directed by Drew Hancock, produced by Zach Krager, Raphael Margui, and J.D. Lifshitz, starring Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid. This is from the creators of Barbarian and the studio that produced The Notebook. This movie is called Companion. It's about a dating website that promises to find your perfect companion, and then it looks like some shit goes south.
Okay,
Like,
there we go.
you're watching the trailer. This very much reminds me of your favorite book series, because it looks like
What
these two
one?
people might be serial killers.
Did you just make a Butcher and Blackbird reference on? I'm so proud of you.
But yeah,
Let me just say, me
I
and my
watched
work girly are gonna be so proud of you.
I watched the trailer for this, and yeah, when they said from the creators of Barbarian and the studio that produced The Notebook, I was like, yep, sweet, sign me up.
That does sound very much
It's
like
like
a
the
like a
weirdest combination, but I think it's gonna like play off and come off across so cool.
I hope it does, just because it sounds kind of fun. Like I'm down to watch it. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, when we get off here, go and watch the trailer for Companion. It's nuts.
Okay. I will, because Barbarian was one of my favorite movies of that year that it came out. Like it was unexpectedly one of my favorite like horror movies of the year last year. So
Mhm.
cool beans. I don't know if I want to go in order now or if I want to change it up. God damn it. What do I want to do? Shit. I guess I'm gonna go with. I feel like this is gonna probably hurt me. I'm gonna go with Baby Girl. With Nicole Kidman, that's coming out.
No, you're not.
I forget. Yeah, I forget
No,
when
you're
it's
not.
supposed to come out. Why?
Because that has a Metacritic score of 82.
No, it doesn't. Does it? But no. God damn it. Fine. Fuck it. Whatever. Okay,
Because
that's off. So
that was on my list, and I did the same thing. I looked at
no.
Metacritic and was like, fuck!
God damn it. That sounds so good. I checked it. Okay, whatever.
I know,
Okay,
it looks
so then
awesome.
I'm gonna change it. Yeah, I'm gonna change it now. So I'm gonna go in my fucking order now, I guess. I'm gonna go with Mickey 17, which I have no hopes for. But whatever. It
I
sounded
was
cool.
really excited by it when I saw who was making it.
Okay.
And then when I watched the trailer, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Robert Pattinson, but the concept sounded kind of cool. I haven't watched any trailers for actually any of these movies, to be completely honest. So yeah, and I really hate the fact that you just ruined my entire fucking life by telling me I couldn't pick my one movie, because I was so keen for that fucking movie now. So I get stuck with a shit pick, but whatever.
Yep.
It's whatever.
Yeah, Baby Girl has an 82 on Metacritic, so it's like, nope.
Go fuck yourself.
But yeah, Mickey 17, science fiction, black comedy, directed by Bong Joon-ho, who did like Parasite and a bunch of other really highly rated movies.
Yeah.
Got an expendable character who like just gets replicated over and over again, and they just keep killing him in the process of trying to colonize this ice planet.
Yeah.
Looks interesting.
It sounds like an
but
interesting
I
concept.
watched the trailer and I was like, okay, it's the only reason I would have picked this is because it's Bong Joon-ho.
No. Well, the only reason why I picked this is because my original pick just got fucked, so go fuck off.
I'm good helping.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
So
Anyway, continue.
number 4. I am going to go again down. Actually, no, I'm going to jump. I'm going to go Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
You can
Direct
have it.
sequel to Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, 8th film in the series. Dead Reckoning, part 1, it got an 81 on Metacritic. So if we can hover around that region, there's a good 20 odd points. So Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
Okay. Go on. Put your bad self.
Are you a trading card collector or a fan of Australian pro wrestling? If so, you're not going to want to miss out on the limited edition Australian wrestling cards. Each set includes 50 packs of 10 cards, including some of the country's top wrestling talents like Robbie Eagles, Shane Haste, Madison Eagles, Hartley Jackson, and they have Shaza McKenzie listed, although she is not a favorite. The Velocities, and a lot more. There's wrestlers, referees, announcers, commentators that are featured, giving you a full appreciation of the Australian independent scene. The cards sold out a lot faster because cards are hot right now, as I'm sure Jeremy Lambert will tell you. But you can order your Australian wrestling cards now at Pario Magazine. That's Pario magazine.com. australian.au/AUSWRES cards. Follow Australian Wrestling Cards on social media at AusResCards for updates. Join the hundreds of fans who have already discovered the excitement of Australian Wrestling Cards.
I don't know what I want.
We're only up pick
Oh.
5. You've still got 6, 7, 8 to go.
I know, and they're getting tiny. Okay, so I guess number 5. Yeah, 5. So I'm gonna go with this number 5 is gonna be Alto Nights. Am I allowed to pick that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's a mob movie with Robert De Niro.
Playing
I'm
2
really
roles.
excited. Yeah, so it sounds cool. I like mob movies. So why not? Let's go for it. And I love Robert De Niro. I mean, granted, like there are some movies that he's in that people just aren't really receptive to, but whatever, I'll take it. It sounds interesting. So
Yeah,
we'll see
so
how
he
that
plays
goes.
it's a biographical, so it's based on a true story, which I think is going to help this. Like, it's not going to divulge
Hopefully.
into total ridiculous, but he plays the 1950s mob bosses Vito Genovese and Frank Costello. He plays them both, and it's after Genovese orders a hit on Costello. Somehow Costello survives, but he's wounded and ultimately decides to retire from the mafia. So that could be interesting. I wasn't 100% sure on it. It was on my like backup of, oh shit, all my other picks have been chosen. Let's pick Alto Nights. It's also had
Okay.
a name change a couple of times too, so interesting.
We'll see. We shall see. Okay.
Okay, so for my 5th pick, I shall return to Corrina's realm of horror films. This one written and directed and produced by Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther and Creed, starring Michael B. Jordan.
Fuck you.
Cin-
But oh god damn you, you motherfucker.
Yep. Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, about twin brothers trying to leave their troubled lives behind and return to their hometown, only to discover that an even greater evil is welcoming them. Yeah, aka there's some vampires in their town now. And it looks like a cool action flick. Michael B. Jordan, great actor. Ryan Coogler, great director. Those two have like great chemistry too, with obviously Black Panther and Creed. So sign me up for Sinners.
Sounds cool. I hate you.
Well, that's not very nice.
That's fine. All right, so my 6th pick is going to be How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
Don't hate me. I love How to Train Your Dragon. I absolutely love that whole thing. The fact that Universal's bringing it to life in their new theme park is even cooler for me. I saw the trailer for it, the teaser trailer for it, when I went to go see Wicked, and it just looks fun. And the fact that like they were able to get Gerard Butler to come in and play like his role in the live action is really fun. And also Toothless looks really cute. So I'm kind of optimistic for it. I don't know. Some kids movies do really well, and some of them do pretty shit. So I guess we'll see.
yeah. I just feel like a lot of these live action reimaginings have not done so great. So that's kind of why I steered clear of it. What did the original How to Train Your Dragon get?
One moment, and I'll tell you what I got. Hold on for a second.
Because I think that will be an interesting tell on what this one does, because it's, I think where its issue is going to be is the core story great? And then the problem is it's going to be compared to that original one. So it's like, it's got to exceed that.
It's got a. So the original one got a 75.
Okay, that's not terrible. So as long as it like gets up around that region, I think the only thing that will draw it back is people like, why do we need this? We've already got the original.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think it'll be fun to see. And you know, like I said, it's there's not very many kids movies that I really go out and see very often. I think like Sonic is probably on my list coming up to go see. But yeah, and maybe Moana too, just because she's on my list for this last. She's my last score for this year, so we'll see. But yeah, yeah. So How to Train. We'll see how to Train Your Dragon does.
Fair enough. So my sixth final main roster pick, I'm going to dig into late in the year. I don't know if this one even has a date. It does not. Currently undated. So I'm going to pick it now. If it doesn't come
And
out,
hope for the
well,
best.
I've got a backup. Action thriller directed by Gareth Evans, who directed The Raid and The Raid 2, which got 73 and 71 respectively. Starring Tom Hardy. This movie is called Havoc. And it's after a drug deal goes wrong, a bruised detective must fight his way through a criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son, unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares his entire city. Just that storyline of like this guy like having to fight through the city and fight through the criminal underworld with Gareth Evans directing, with like the pedigree of The Raid and The Raid 2, which had some of the coolest action in film ever. I think this movie could be really good, and Tom Hardy is a fantastic actor, so hopefully he can elevate a fairly simple script and make it something awesome, just with some cool action fighting scenes.
Fingers crossed. All right, so that brings me to my first backup movie. Is that right?
Yep.
Alternates. So I'm just gonna go with Karate Kid Legends.
Interesting choice.
From
someone
not
that has
because
not
I care.
watched. For someone that has not watched Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Interesting
I've
choice.
never seen Cobra Kai. Haven't seen Karate Kid in like since I was a little kid. But whatever. There's a following for it, and people seem to really like Cobra Kai. And not that it's a direct link to it, but apparently it's in the same universe as Cobra Kai. Optimistic for a backup pick. Whatever.
I think from what I read, it takes place a few months after Cobra Kai is supposed to finish.
Yeah, it's like the same universe, kind of, but it's not directly linked to it. But well, that's what I read.
After watching the most recent batch of episodes from Cobra Kai, I think I can see where this is what this story is going to be, and it sounds interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so for my supplemental pick, I'm going to go... I'm going to go with a movie by a studio that I have grown to love over the last couple of years. I'm going to pick The Monkey. It's from the studio Neon, who have produced I, Tonya, Parasite, Palm Springs, Pig, Royal Hotel, Anatomy of a Fall, which just like won a bunch of awards, Immaculate, Long Legs, Anora, and Cuckoo, directed by Osgood Perkins, who did Long Legs, which I loved. And this is a supernatural horror that adapts the 1980s short story by Stephen King, so more good base for this one, starring Theo James, Elijah Wood, and it's about twin brothers who find that their father's old monkey toy in the attic, and then a series of gruesome deaths start. So looks like a cool, interesting horror movie, and I think like just with the stuff that Neon have been putting out, they've been putting out some banger movies, so obviously if they're willing to invest in this, there's something special to this one.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. Stephen King adaptations are always like a hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I consider.
Yeah, there's some really good ones and there's some really shit ones. But it'll be interesting to see how it does.
Yeah, so fingers crossed on that. That one's very speculative, hence why I put it in my backups of let's just put it in there. If it gets an awesome score, then cool. If not, then it doesn't really matter.
All right, so my last backup movie is gonna be The Amateur with Rami Malek. I don't have high hopes for it probably, but it sounds like your typical action-packed kind of revenge plot movie.
It's very much not John Wick. It's kind of John Wick-ish. And
Jason Bourne kind of like things like that.
The Bourne supremacy and stuff like that. So Bourne Identity.
So I like Rami Malek. He's a pretty decent actor. So
well, yeah, he just won an Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, just sprinkle him in there a little bit.
And an Emmy too, I think, for Mr. Robot. So he's a is a very highly
He's-
regarded actor. The trailer looks
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
hopefully. Yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen any trailers for any of the movies on my list. I'm just fucking picking them because I was a slacker and did this today. I did my list today at work on my lunch. Ow.
And it's also directed by James Hawes, who did movie One Life, which I reviewed last year. Awesome movie about the Holocaust that didn't like approached it in a different way. So I think there could be some like unique angles on this. And it's also written by Ken Nolan, who wrote Black Hawk Down. So one of the most iconic action movies of all time. So I think
yeah,
it could be doing pretty well there. Good pick. It was on my list.
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay. So if I pick the last movie on my list, everything on my list will have been picked.
Oh, okay. That's how mine went. Like, well, minus like the Sinner movie, but like, whatever.
So I'm going to pick a movie called In the Grey. It's an action thriller written and directed by Guy Ritchie, starring Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Eliza Gonzalez. Revolves around two extraction specialists who have to designate a route of escape for a senior female negotiator. I pretty much am only picking this based on Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, that's
It's very
trio
like
that's
very
good.
like wishy-washy on like what the movie is. Haven't seen a trailer for it, and it's supposed to come out in January, so that's a little concerning.
Yeah,
which is why this is a final pick for me. But,
okay.
Yeah, In the Grey sounds cool. I love a Guy Ritchie movie. They are either super highly rated or terribly rated. So
really shit.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
So yeah, from my main target list, everything has been picked. On my backup list, what else did I have on here? I also had, so there were 5 movies on my list that ended up not being able to be chosen.
I had 4.
So my first choice that had to scrub when I realized it had a Metacritic score already, Conclave, had a Metacritic of 79. Had to toss that one out.
That was my first pick.
Baby Girl, which you went to pick, I had to toss that one out when I realized it had a Metacritic of 82.
Yep.
The Seed of the Sacred Fig, had to throw that one out when it had an 84. The Last Showgirl, starring Pam Anderson, had to toss that one out with a 71.
That was my third pick.
And then the upcoming Luca Guadagnino movie, Queer, has a Metacritic of 72. Had to throw that one out.
So I had Conclave on my list, as well as I picked Baby Girl. Didn't know that was on there. And The Last Showgirl. However, I would have fucking struck gold with The Brutalist with Adrian Brody because that has a Metacritic rating of 88 right now.
Wow.
And then
I did not like the trailer at all.
Well, apparently it's doing well. And then my last pick on that list that had to get scrapped was September 5th, which currently holds a 71 on Metacritic, which is about the Munich Olympic hostages.
It looks pretty cool.
So yeah, those were the ones I had to scrap, but Conclave was my first pick, and I was so excited, and I was like, man, if this works in my favor, which it did work in my favor. However, I had to fucking scrap that goddamn movie. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was very keen on picking Baby Girl because that movie looks awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely. I had to scrap that. I considered putting You're Cordially Invited on there just because I know you're super excited for that movie starring Will Ferrell in a rom-com.
My pick that I did not actually it made to my list, but I didn't end up picking it was Flower Vale Street. And the only reason why I didn't actually go with it is because I don't know anything about it other than the fact that Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor are in it.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies on the list where I was
sci-fi thriller thing.
I really don't know a lot about it. I avoided Marvel because that bit me in the butt last year. Yep. Even though Captain America Brave New World looks promising.
I avoided it like the plague. I avoided Stitch like the plague because I don't want to go down that route of putting that on anything. Same with Snow White. Snow White looks awful and it's already getting negative feedback. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to
Yeah,
get
there's a
down
lot
that
of
route
movies
either.
on there that like they could be interesting, but they are definitely not going to get high critic scores. They're going to get very mediocre scores at best.
Yeah.
Black Bag was another one that I had on there as like a potential. It's a spy thriller directed by Steven Soderbergh, starring Kate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, and Pierce Brosnan. Could be
Okay.
solid, but didn't know enough about it to
Yeah.
really commit to choosing it. Ballerina, the like follow up to John Wick, like the spin off,
Mm,
could be cool. Could just be generic action movie, so I avoided that one.
yeah.
Maybe 2.0.
Absolutely
Was
avoided it.
very, very close to picking that because that first one was awesome. But
First one was good, but I feel like we didn't need a sequel for it, and it's just not. I don't know if it's gonna work well.
yeah, and I'm in that like weird area where I'm like, the sequel is gonna have like so much pressure on it to live up to that original that it may
Yeah.
get sort of pinged for not being quite as groundbreaking and unique as the original was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I almost repicked it, In Vitro, but it still doesn't have a date. It is still just in the ether of sometime it's coming. And I'm like, ugh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm already picking
Don't risk it.
Havoc, which doesn't have a date. I can't go picking two undated movies and hope for the best. But what else did we have? Oh, Happy Gilmore 2. I want to pick it because I'm so excited for it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get
Don't do it.
terrible score.
Yeah, don't do it.
And then Fear Street Prom Queen.
Mm-mm.
I loved the first Fear Street, but it's a Netflix movie, and not a lot of Netflix originals get high scores. So,
I watched the first Fear Street movie that they first came out with, and I was cool with it. And then the two after that, I actually fell off and never finished the third one because I just got kind of bored with them, which is kind of sad because the Fear Street books were a really big part of my life growing up. So I was kind of disappointed in that.
yeah. So that'll be a list of movies. So
Corrina chose. Complete Unknown, Last Breath, F1, Alto Knights. Oh, Mickey 17, Alto Knights, How to Train Your Dragon, and then the two backups are Karate Kid and The Amateur.
still blown away by that F1 pick. Did not see that coming at all. I was like, this is a surefire. Like no one will pick this. Jackson won't pick this. Corrina won't pick this. It'll be all mine. And then you went. And
there are some times where I just I think in my head, what would Jamie pick? And
yeah,
what
I
would
know
piss
that's
him
how
off the
that.
most?
I know that's how you picked that movie.
Yeah.
That's why I
What
was
would
shocked you
Jamie
didn't
pick?
take Nosferatu.
No, because I don't want to go down that path. You picked it twice and it gave you shit luck, so I don't want to do it a third time and have it give me shit luck. I'm already writing on negatives.
Third time's charm. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my choices were Nosferatu Part Tres. And I've killed it. 28 years later, Companion, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, Sinners, Havoc, and then my supplementals, The Monkey and In the Grey. So we will come back in at the start of July and recap scores on this one. Hopefully Corrina does a little bit better in 2025 than she did in...
You know what? I would have done fucking fantastic had you let me just pick my original picks, even though they had Metacritic scores, because y'all are lame and get the movies like a month after we do.
Nah. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I love these episodes are fun. Like they're just super simple, silly. See how we go.
Hey, look, I didn't have a giggle fit today. That's the positive thing.
But yeah, if you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow me on social media at Jamie Media and at Pario Magazine. Or if you go to Blue Sky, just search Pario Magazine. Everything will pop up. And Corrina is on social media at Miss Corrina Renee. Thank you for jumping on, and we will come back in July and tally up the scores and redraft for the end of the year.
So
So-
good. So
Try not to live to the last minute. Keep a list of what's coming and we'll come back in July.
I do my best work under pressure, okay?
The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/Jamie Apps Media. The following people supported at the publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support.